everyone. Want to introduce actress, director, producer, star of Dagger Kiss, honorary Real Shark member, Miss Tucky Williams.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's such an honor to have you back on here, Tucky. So
Oh, such
how
an
have you
honor,
been?
as always.
How have you been?
I've been great. I was thinking about this. I haven't done an interview in over a year.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Yeah.
Is that because of your YouTube channel? I wanted to ask you about that.
Oh, I just been busy with stuff, life. I told my publicist I wanted to take a break for a while and focus on being a human.
Right.
So I didn't realize it's been a year yet, so it felt like 6 months or something. And
Time flies.
what?
Time flies.
Time flies.
It does certainly fly. Yes, yes.
So what do you have coming up now? What's some
Well,
of your new projects?
the big thing right now is the Girl Scene movie has a re-release on Tubi. We totally revamped it. We even gave it a new name, Girl Scene 1984, so that you can tell
Nice.
it. But yeah, a lot of people wanted something that looked more like a traditional film instead of the groovy 80s way we made it. So we digitally remastered it. I guess that's the word for it. And now it's really it looks really good. It looks like a real movie, like not like this crazy
Yeah.
thing we did. And the cool thing is you can just watch it. And I didn't know that with Tubi. Like it's actually easier to watch than it is on YouTube. With something like a PG-13 movie on YouTube, you have to sign in, but on Tubi, you just turn it on, man, and you're there.
Nice. So when I mentioned your YouTube channel earlier, I actually stumbled across it the other day. I saw your doll, your how you display your dolls. So what was what's the story behind that?
Well, I've always been into action figures, and I got excited about my action figures again, and then I started seeing all these crazy collections and stuff, and so I got into it. So now I'm a collector.
Nice. Yeah, I watched some of your videos. Yeah, and then one of them I saw was called Bella. That's why I was wondering. I was like Breaking Bella. I was like, is there something there?
Yeah, there's no. I mean, it's genuine. It's sincere. I was thinking about like Will Ferrell and Kristen Wiig wrote a Lifetime movie, and people were kind of like, "What's the catch?" And I watched it, and it was just a Lifetime movie. It's just like what. So, I mean, I think people are like waiting for some kind of gimmick here, and it's just no. I'm just reviewing toys now.
Nice. So you're just in the midst of a break right now?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, reviewing toys is pretty it's pretty
intense.
It's pretty integrated, yeah.
It's more cutthroat than like the television film industry.
Right.
It really is though.
It's so serious.
What's the rarest toy you've come across?
I'm not doing rare ones. I'm doing new ones.
New ones, okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Any favorites thus far in your toy collecting?
Anyone else does. What's that?
Any favorites thus far?
Yeah. I have. Well, I mean, She-Ra was always my favorite from childhood. I mean, I have them right here. I don't know if you want to see them. It's kind of.
Let's see them. No, let's go ahead. Let's have fun here.
See what I'm really wearing now. All right. So this is She-Ra, my original She-Ra from when I was 5 years old.
Oh wow.
Still in good condition. And I just, I learned how to clean her up and everything. So I washed her hair for the first time in ever. And there's her little skirt, which I shortened when I was young to make it look like the TV series. And she's showing up. See, I'm doing the thing. Okay, so can you see her face there? Yeah, she's a sweet. She looks like somebody. I don't know who. Can't
put your finger on it.
Can't put your finger on.
No. And then there's this. This is about a year old. This is they made a line. They make these toy lines. It's funny because they're actually really for adult collectors. And so this one is fun. They made an entire doll line and all black, white, and gray. I have to keep her away from me because it.
Yeah, it's very contrasting there.
Right, it is.
But this one's she's just totally grayscale. It's just white and black. Again, reminds me of someone I can't put my finger on. This was from my friend Marlene, and she got the whole ball rolling with this. So yeah, so that's where it started, and that's where it stands today.
Very nice. So let's talk about some movie news, huh? So Tucky, I recently saw there was an interview with Brendan Fraser, in which he talked about how basically he didn't take on any roles like the movie The Whale until now because he felt, he needed more life experience to take on a
Oh.
role like that. Tucky, what do you think about that? Do you feel like you have to have more experience to do certain roles or certain criteria to take on something, or do you think you can just dive in and do it?
It helps for sure. Of course, I've seen some amazing things from some talent, some of the actresses who've been on the show. It's like it's kind of like I don't know where that kind of knowledge comes from even. I mean, I know I was an idiot. I was an idiot when I was 23. And then I see them come and give these amazing performances and I'm just like, what? Who did that? So I think it just depends on the person. I mean, I think I would tend to agree with him, but then on the other hand, I mean, I've just witnessed it myself. Like the girl who came to 23 just gave this brilliant performance, like someone who's been acting for, 50 years or something. And it was just like, she didn't miss a beat. And it was her first movie too. So who knows? I guess it just depends on everybody. I do like that he was responsible enough to say that. That's
Yeah.
a cool thing. Yeah,
Nice.
I like that.
So recently too, and here's something for action figures. I know they used to make these back in the day, especially because now it's kind of become a collector's item. So I don't know if you guys have heard, they are ghost faces are starting to appear everywhere. Marketing ploy or just crazy fanatical people?
Both.
Marketing ploy.
Think it's a marketing
Yeah.
ploy? Like
Of
Yeah.
course.
remember when that clown? I think it was what 2007, Steve, 2006, when those clowns were
Yeah, it was like
going
2008.
everywhere, scaring
Yeah.
everybody, and then you go to the hood, and then they got beat up. But they said it
Yeah.
was originally for the marketing for it.
For it, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
that's
they were saying that it was the marketing for it when they were reporting it on the news, but when people started getting hurt behind the scandal, I guess it wasn't no longer marketing.
yeah.
Okay.
So Tucky, would you ever market a movie, something similar to that?
Of course, in a second, if I could. I don't know how. How would I do that?
I think it's interesting, because that ghost face, I remember when I was young, it was just no big deal. It was like the cheap Halloween costume. And then all of a sudden Scream came out, and then boom, it's like nostalgia everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it just drives me nuts. I just remember thinking to myself, that'll never take off, and then boom, it's huge now.
It's
It's
huge
also
again.
funny because it's contradictive to what Scream is, which is a franchise that's sort of a ploy on the horror genre.
Yeah.
So it's funny that now it's a nostalgic thing.
I just wonder how far it can go. Tucky, do you think there's still an audience for Scream?
I think it's interesting that I mean, what is this? The third generation of Scream audiences? It was like Generation X, then Millennials, and now Generation Z.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And maybe what's the generation after that? I forget.
I don't even know myself. I get
Terrible.
lost in all that
They
terminology.
have two names and they're both terrible. I'm not going to repeat either one of them. But the generation after Z. So I mean, we had Scream franchises for every third, maybe even fourth generation of Scream movies, and I love it because I thought Scream was brilliant meta take on the horror genre from a horror master. And I always thought like you could divide people in the world up into people who thought that was a horror movie and people who realized that it was a satire.
Yeah.
And I mean, I want to hang out with the people who realized what it was they were watching. I mean, satire, generally, but it's just such a brilliant masterwork of homage. We're using that word again,
Mm.
homage and nostalgia for slasher films, and it was sort of this thing. And I feel like it's really important to put that in context that Scream wasn't part of the slasher genre. It was an homage to the slasher genre, and it
That's a very
actually
good point.
revived the slasher genre. Of course.
Mm.
So here's another one I got for you, Tuggy, directly. And this is actually one I wrote directly for you. It's actually from our co-host Luke, who's not on here. But recently, The Rock was on the set of Black Adam, and he started taking a lot of creative control over the movie. And a lot of people deemed that to be not only unethical, but it also, they say, hurt the film. I've also heard of instances of this happening with Edward Norton, for example, wanting more creative control. Tuggy, what would you do, or how do you handle, or do you have any colleagues that are kind of like that, where they come in and they're like, you know what, I know you guys have a vision, but this is the vision I think you should have.
Yeah, they get fired immediately.
Like, how do you handle? Like, have you ever had to
They get
direct
fired
someone
immediately.
like that, get fired
They
immediately?
get fired immediately. Yeah.
Not even any kind of
No
leeway for
negotiation.
that.
No backpedaling.
No backpedaling.
Yeah, and as soon as that became a rule, I never had to institute it. You know, as soon as they realized that, I mean, I never even said it out loud, by the way, you're getting fired. But I think as soon as I adopted the attitude of, there's no negotiating here,
No
then
callback.
Right. Yeah.
yeah, there's no negotiating. This is the screenplay you read, and this is what you signed up for. So if you've got a problem with it, you can go home, and you're going to be sent home.
Yeah. I like that attitude because that's very film centric, because I guess that's sort of like what Rob is saying as well. Is like that seems so now, where there's a lot of actors that
Yeah.
are kind of superseding themselves and putting themselves more into the roles of writing, and more influence overall, just in a production of a
Yeah, writing is for writers, and you
yeah.
can't.
You
That's
need
a
the
skill
actor in
that
there.
can't be learned. I mean, I think Quentin Tarantino and his co-writer are the only people I know who have been able to write a movie and do a good job without any writing training in history. So it's not that it can't be done, but it's a talent. You have to be born with it, and then you have to be taught and learn it. So I kind of, when I find out, I guess I don't like it. I don't know what he meant by creative control. I don't know if it was writing or what he was
Basically, at first when they made the costume for him, he was like, I don't like this. So they had to change the costume, then change the direction of the film. And it's The
Mhm.
Rock. And while I personally have always liked Dwayne Johnson, I feel like he's also gotten a pass because he is so charismatic to do a bad movie. But I don't think this
I
one is
met him.
getting away from him though.
I met him before he got jacked up on steroids. And the funny story is, I was watching The Scorpion King, and then I saw him walking around, and I was like, that's fucking weird. I was in a gym. I was like, that's fucking weird. That guy looks exactly like him.
Turns out it is.
And I've got to
It
say,
is him.
this is my Dwayne Johnson story. I didn't go up and talk to him or anything, but that is the most beautiful man I've ever seen in my life.
He was Hercules.
And
Yeah, right.
he glows, or he did he glows. Like he has a glow. He walks around like his skin. I always say like celebrities have something special about him. The light reflects off his skin a certain way that he glows. I mean, that's the most beautiful man I've ever seen ever. That's my Dwayne Johnson story. I was just like, what the? What? Can I swear?
Yes,
Oh,
you
fuck.
can.
Yeah, yeah.
We drink on the podcast too. So if you got anything around, go ahead.
A lemonade.
Uh,
Woo.
Donna, you've been quiet. You got anything for Tucky?
You're asking No, I do have a question. And so
Yeah.
this is the first time I've met you, and I haven't watched any of the previous podcasts with you too before, because I wanted experience on my own. But what is one thing that you've experienced making movies that you've enjoyed, but also the downfall to doing it?
Wow. Can you be more specific? Because there's so many places I can go with that.
Oh God, no, I can't.
Like my personal life, or with other
Personal.
talent, or in terms
With
of the way
other
I
talent.
thought.
Let's go with other talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, other
Okay.
talent.
So what's the question again?
What's the biggest thing you enjoy working with the other talent around you? And then what's the biggest downfall?
Well, I'll go with the downfall first, which is what I was talking about, which is, a problem that I've, thus far eliminated, which is people wanting to take control of it, but like I said, I figured out how to take care of that, which is to just have the, no discussion rule. But it's just an interesting thing, because it's like you're packed in with people all of a sudden. Like all of a sudden these people are your best friends, and it's not just like being in an intense working situation. It's like you're actually having emotions and talking to people at the same time. So it's like all of a sudden literally you have best friends. And girl seeing the movie, they all said they were at movie summer camp because they were all staying in the same hotel, and they were all going and eating at the same places, and they called it summer, movie summer camp. And so it's not just the regular working with someone. This is like very, 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 very intense situation. You're suddenly friends with somebody, and then you never see them again. And it's just like it's emotionally draining on people, I think. And they're not there's a lot of crying. There's a lot of crying that goes
That's
on
interesting.
from the talent. I mean, part of it is because they're actors and they're sensitive, but I think the big thing was people trying to take over or take some degree of control. And that was the thing I had to learn, was that you know, because I'm actually like, it's really good natured person and really kind. And so it's sort of my attitude had always been, hey, we're all in this together. If somebody has a question or a problem, I'm open to anything, you know, and it's really unfortunate that I had to go to the place of like, you know, no negotiation. I wrote it. This is what you're doing. You read the script, you know, so I really have to, before I cast any talent, I have to have a big discussion with them. And I have to say, I say a few things. I say, this is forever. I say, you're going to be known for this forever. You're going to be 80 years old and people are going to be like trying to write to you and being like, hey, I really love that movie. So I'm like, you're going to be a public figure for the rest of your life. The rest of your life. I was like, you have to be okay with that. And I always make them think about, because they always go, yeah, I'm okay with that. That's why I got into acting. But I always make them think about that for a day and say, you know, yeah, I'm okay. Because I think that it's like, oh, I want to be famous. Da, 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 I want to be famous. But it's like, no, there's no going back on this. Like this isn't like, with the stuff I make, it's pretty like cultish. You know, like if people are into it, like there are people who like watch it and whatever, but then there are like people who are super into it, and it's like they're gonna find you and they're gonna talk to you and you're never ever gonna get away from them, and they're awesome. They're awesome. They're my best friends.
You definitely have
But
a cult following, Tucky.
they're also gonna want to talk to you, and like this is gonna, like I said, this is forever. And I also have to make them say, this is a gay thing. I know it's a gay thing, and I know I'm going to be kissing women, because that actually became a problem with the, you know, people get here and be like, oh, I know it's a gay thing, but I don't actually want to do anything gay. And I was like, why are you fucking here? You know, like, so I have to have all these really strict rules in place. Like this is what you're signing up for, a lifetime
Right.
figure, and
new
you know,
generation.
this is actually a gay thing that you're
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
like I have to
That's
make it
unbelievable.
I get it in writing, and now I'm gonna start getting it on video because like, wait, why don't I get this on video now? But you know,
Wow. Has anyone just shown up and be like, this is a movie?
Yeah, I don't actually want to be filmed.
I don't actually want to be
just wanna
filmed. Can we do this movie then?
that happens. Well, they show up and they start getting fan mail as soon as they show up, right? Because people are writing to them, they go, oh, you're making the movie. You know, they've known it's in pre-production, so people I'm saying here because we shoot it a lot here at my house. So they show up here and they're staying at my house. And they're like, wait, I'm getting all these messages from people I don't know. I'm like, yeah, of course you are.
Yeah.
What'd you expect? And then like they were getting upset because they were getting messages from people like, wait, I didn't want to be I don't know who these people are. And so that was how I had to make the rule of that you have to realize you're going to be a public figure for the rest of your life.
That's completely understandable.
The first series, she posted on her Facebook that she was going to go get coffee and where she was going to get it. And when people showed up, because she posted it publicly, and she was just like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. And I'm like, what?
It's like she was asking for it.
What?
It's like she was asking for it. She was trying to test to see how many people she had following her.
Yeah. And she was really like, well, she wasn't around much longer, let's put it that way. But yeah, so it's like I have to say all these things. This is a gay thing. This is for life. There's one other thing, but it's not coming to mind right now. But you know, it's a gay thing and it's for the rest of your life. So those are like, you know, that was a problem before, was that people weren't realizing that. And you know, but you know, it was just funny. I changed my mind and I said, as soon as someone causes trouble, I'm just gonna send them home. I'm just gonna send them packing. Like, even if we shot all their stuff and it's their last day, I don't care. We'll do it all again. And you know, then it wasn't a problem anymore. Fingers crossed.
Nice.
Continue that way. But it's just interesting that I never said anything. I never said that out loud. I never said, by the way, if you give me trouble, you're gone. And no, I never said, because like I said, I'm nice. And then it was just funny, just that mental change in me. They were able to, yeah, it was kind of, it was like they could smell it on me or something, that I wasn't gonna, but yeah, do make them say that they know it's a gay thing, and they know it's going to be for the rest of their lives. They still cannot believe it when they find out that it's the rest of their lives. They still, that's how they said it. They still are like, what's happening? You know, it's forever. And then so the good thing about talent, was that the rest of the question?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you do it for, is to have amazing experiences working with people. I mean, the good thing is just when you find someone who's really good and you make a really, really good scene that you don't have to carry yourself, that someone can jump in and do a scene with you and be an equal player in it. And I mean, acting is an amazing thing. I love acting. I love it as an art form. I especially love the form of acting, the lower form of acting, which is acting on film. Theater is great, but I really feel like the bigger art is being able to do it on film, because the art in that is being a person. And it's really, really hard to be a person, right? Like if you want to know how hard it is, go stand on the stage, and all you have to do is walk across the stage. That's going to be the hardest thing you ever do in your life, because you're going to be so conscious of how you're walking. Like you just can't walk. So I think the hardest thing to do is to pretend to be a person. And that's what it is. And I just love having a really positive experience on camera with talent. And then, also with coaching talent and seeing an amazing scene come to life, like bringing it together and knowing that it was you communicating with them. I mean, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but I don't watch from a monitor. I watch from like behind the camera, or sometimes even on the floor. I'm right there with them watching it happen, and I'm in it with them. So that really is really gratifying at the time. And then having a scene, people will say they're really, really moved by it. And it's like, well, yeah, that's because I was there.
Yeah.
I was telling them what to do. Because just acting is, I heard the saying, it's just a saying Bryan Cranston said. I heard it from him. It's the luckiest people in the world are the people who get to call themselves actors. The luckiest people in the world are the people who have to work with them.
Yeah, right.
Tucky, one of the things we got a lot of before you came on, we had a lot of your fans, oh, I'm excited to have you watch Tucky. How important are your fans to you, Tucky?
They're everything. They're not really my fans, they're my friends. They're just a part of my life, and everything that happens to me, they're there. I mean, this has been going on since 2010. So I've had, since 2010, people I don't know be there for me as if they were here with me. And they really are my friends, and they support me when I'm down, and they're just always there for me. It's just amazing to have these wonderful people I can count. They've just changed my life. And that was something that I never saw coming, when this whole thing started. But just have all these tremendous human beings.
So what's the future hold for you,
Tucky?
Tucky?
What?
What's the future hold for you now?
What's the future hold for me? Oh, well, I mean, I've got to write. I've got to write. I haven't been writing. I need to write and then make my next thing.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you coming on again. I love having you on so much. You're an awesome, awesome person. Great, great, great. I love your energy all the time. Where can we find more of your stuff? What do you want to tell the audience before we head out?
Well, I would say, hey, go to Tubi, search for Girl Scene. You'll find an awesome, awesome movie. And like I said, even I didn't know this. You don't have to sign in. It just starts playing automatically. It's fantastic. It's so easy. Just, it's TUBI, but you can just type in Tubi into a search engine and it'll come up. And then there's a search bar on Tubi. You type in Girl Scene and there's the movie.
And you want to say anything else to your fans out there?
Nice.
I love you. Love you so much.
Well, thank you so much, Tucky. We appreciate you coming on.
Okay, thank you.
You have a good night.
Bye.